All right, I'm back. See, it's just, it's computers. They glitch out sometimes. It happens. Hi-oh. Oh, I just learned that word. Seagull. Hello, hi-oh. Ni hao. I just learned that word recently in Chinese. Yeah, see? I just had to start a new stream. It was a problem. It happens. I should have gotten more coffee. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Lily. I'm fine. I'm I'm as fine as one can be. All right, so I'm here and we are ready to start. So that means you should be asking me questions right now. If you are not asking me questions, why not? You're new here. Okay, well, welcome. Why is the color of my suit so beautiful? I don't know. It's not a suit. This is just a suit jacket or sport coat is the word we call. If it's just something you wear, it's not part of a suit, it's just the jacket, then we just call it a sport coat. Okay, how many people are new? Who's new? You're new, okay? Who else is new? What's the difference between tropic and rainforest? Rainforest is a specific thing. Wait a minute, let me find the Chinese word for you. So, a rainforest is a tropical forest. Tropic is a bigger term that just describes a kind of geographical temperate area, right? Like it's the way we qualify different areas. One area is Arctic, subarctic. There's tropic, subtropic, right? So these are words that have to do with the Tropic of Cancer, which means the horizontal line across the Earth, right? If you're closer to the tropics, you're closer to the Tropic of Cancer, the line. And there you go. Alyssa has the answer for you. Okay, so if you are new, I'm not new. Hello, my name is Teacher Mark. I'm a teacher. It's my job. I have been on this app for more than 12 years. I have been live streaming here for more than 5 years. And I have about 88,000 followers who come watch me almost every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm here to answer questions. That's why it says, Ask Teacher Mark. I am Teacher Mark. You should ask me questions. Ask me questions. Ask me questions. Ask me questions. Come on, let's go. I'm waiting. I don't like waiting. If you make me wait, then I'll have to play waiting music. Bum bum ba da doo da 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 doo da 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 doo da 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 doo da 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 doo da. You can't stop translating from your brain. What should you do? Arya, you can stop translating from your brain, but you have to start with simple things. So, Arya, from now on, all your simple thoughts should be in English. That's easy. You can do that without translating. I'm tired. Can you think I'm tired in English? I'm hungry. Can you think that in English? I like this. I don't like that. Can you do that in English? Yes, you can. So, start with the simple things, then build from that. Okay? And then every day you need to look around and say, 这个英文怎么说?这个英文怎么说?这个英文怎么说?这个英文怎么说?这个英文怎么说? Okay? What do I think the difference is between Chinese values and American values? That's what we call a loaded question. It means that there is no real good answer for that question, because what are Chinese values? China's a big place. There are billions of people there. You cannot really completely define billions of people with one statement of culture. We all believe this, do we? America is the same. What are American values? Well, the American values that I have are not necessarily the American values that my neighbor has. Do you understand? Values are personal. So that means that your interpretation of them may be different than your neighbor. There may be similarities, but there will be differences. What is happiness and how can you be happy in life? Ignorance is bliss. So if you want to be happy, be stupid. Don't learn anything. Don't learn about life. Don't pay attention to the news. Don't learn anything. You'll be very happy. You're self-taught. You took English courses for years, but they didn't work for me, so I'd like to know what the best study materials are for learning English. Nadia, the best study materials, many of them I put on my website, right? So I think you've gone to my website. You can go to my website and look at all those resources there. There's lots of them there. There are some books that are the right books. Like I have 60 or 70 different grammar books, but I really only teach out of one because only one is really good in my opinion. So, when you're teaching yourself, you must find the materials that you feel work best for you. What works for me may not work for you. Right? So what I will tell you, Nadia, is you need to have as many as you can. Right? So the books I like might not be the books you like, but you need books. Okay? The apps that I like might not be the apps that you like, but you need apps. the podcasters or YouTubers or live streams that I like might not be the ones that you like, but you need to watch and listen to them, right? Some of them. Okay, so the point is you need a lot of materials, and they need to be materials that you connect with. That's the point. If you connect with it, you're more likely to do it. If you don't connect with it, then you won't do it. Okay? Why during my speaking in the front of the class I make mistakes while one-on-one I make few mistakes? Zach, that's just called life. Zach, I'm a musician. I'm a drummer, okay? And this is the way every musician is, too. We have to learn that you must practice a lot before you will feel very comfortable, okay? So speaking about something is different than speaking comfortably about something. So, Zach, my question is, do you know that topic comfortably? Do you know it so well that you are comfortable? If you are comfortable, then you will be confident. And then, Zach, next time you're giving a speech in front of your class, pretend you're not like giving a speech. Pretend you're a teacher. You are a teacher. And as a teacher, you are just trying to help. You're just trying to explain your idea to people because you think it will be helpful. That changes the feeling that you have when you aren't being looked at like, oh, what's he doing here? Why is he here? No, you know why you're there. You're helping them. You're there to help. That's it. You're there to tell them your idea, and you think your idea will help. So just have that energy. Okay? You're not bad, Vicky. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm just saying that you can't define big cultures with one statement. It's just not possible. You know, you can make a few general ideas, but they don't hold up very well when you look at them carefully. If you look at individuals, okay? Okay, so again, I am waiting for your questions. Do you have questions about grammar? I can probably answer them, although yesterday there was somebody who had questions about grammar that were so difficult that no, I couldn't answer them. Because that's the way language is. There is a lot of grammar that's just really difficult, and no one really should know it that well. It's not needed. So I actually kind of found it amusing that this 17-year-old boy or girl, I'm not sure, from Afghanistan, wow, his or her English was amazing. However, clearly they had the knowledge, but they didn't have a lot of wisdom. They're still young. They're a little impetuous. They're a little bit too eager. Too eager. That was the problem. He was too eager. Okay, next question. I'm waiting for your questions, so do I have one here yet? So, Vicky, you think all Chinese people are like this? If I said all Chinese people are blah, 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 you think that would be true? Anything. I could say anything at all. All Chinese people are what? Can you say that about 8 billion, or no, 4 billion people. No, how many billion is it over there? What is it? What's the population up to in China up to now? What is it? 3 billion? 4 billion? You can't. You cannot say that about everybody. You just can't. There is no culture that you can use that talks about such huge numbers of people in such a general way. And by the way, Vicky, here's the thing that you need to remember. China is on Earth. America, the United States, is on Earth. So I think, I'm not sure, but I think we are on the same land because it's the same planet. And if an alien came here, they wouldn't care about this or that name of place. They would say, you're from Earth. All Chinese people are Chinese, but are they? Peter, are they? Think about it. Think about it very carefully. And can that be completely true? Right? Okay, let's see. Do we have any questions that are real questions that I can answer that don't involve me pretending to be a god? Let's see. How could I forget what we know? What do you mean, Rodrigo? How could I forget what I know? What do you mean? What kind of books do I recommend for self-study to start with? Well, I'll give you the name of the grammar book I love. It's called Basic English Grammar by Saddleback Publishing. Oops, I'm sorry, I spelled with a big N, but yeah, Basic English Grammar by Saddleback Publishing, okay? That's my favorite book for grammar, all right? They have a book 1 and book 2. They're both great, all right? So you can start with those. The Raymond Murphy book is online, and it's free, and it's useful. English Grammar in Use is a very popular series that's famous around the world. It's good, but I don't like it because it's very dry and boring. And sometimes their answers are too complicated. But those are good. But it depends on what you're studying, Mary. Are you studying grammar? Are you studying what? Vocabulary? Are you studying literature? What do you want to study for self-study? Sherwin, how about you come and listen to whatever I do? Sherwin, 我是老师，你不是。我告诉你，你不是告诉我。Okay? Sherwin, there's a famous song by the band the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones. Do you guys know the Rolling Stones? Mick Jagger. You guys know that band? No? You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. So, if you come to my room, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might get what you need. That's my room. All right? You can't always get what you want. All right, Marco. Hello, Marco. You have a question about questions. What is the more common form to ask in daily speech? Can it be intonation, inversion, or formal? Oh, that's a good question, Marco. Yeah, so when you use the most basic form of language, that's more casual, right? So casual language is usually basic language. But when you make it more formal, the level goes up, right? So if you invert it or change the intonation, it can change the formality, right? You can change the vocabulary to change the formality, right? And why do you want to change the formality? Well, sometimes you want to change the formality because you should, right? It's a formal situation. Sometimes in English, if I'm angry, then I will use more formal language. It's an interesting thing about English. If I'm angry, sometimes I will use more formal language to show my anger or my seriousness. Okay, you're showing how serious you are by using elevated language. Okay? And sometimes you use inversions that make it more elevated. Sometimes you can use vocabulary or intonation. Okay, I hope that answers your question. How can you get more focus while learning English? Ibrahim, if you want to be focused when you learn, then you need to care about what you're learning. So, for example, if you want to climb a mountain, then it's much easier to climb that mountain if you actually have a reason, right? If your friend is at the top of the mountain and they broke their leg, and they're hurt, they're injured, you have a good reason to go to the top of that mountain. So you will get there because you care, right? But if you don't know why you're going to the top of the mountain, then of course you won't really want to get there because you don't know why you're going. So, Ibrahim, motivation is a very important part of learning. You need to think about, why am I doing this and why should I care? Because if I care, I will do it, and if I don't care, I won't. All right? What's the best way to learn English? What do you think about language acquisition by hearing? So the best way to learn English, this question gets asked a lot. But every time you ask this question, you're thinking of it the wrong way. Because you think that there's going to be one answer. What's the best way to learn English? Oh, it's TV and movies. Or what's the best way to learn English? Oh, it's with this grammar book. Or what's the best way to learn English? Oh, watch this YouTube channel. But the best way would never be one way. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the best way be only one? It doesn't make any sense. The best way to learn anything is every way that you can learn that thing. Of course. So, does language acquisition by hearing, does that work? Sure. Of course it does, because listening is always the first part of language. But everything that you can do to learn, you should do. All right? So when you ask what's the best way, remember that the answer should never be just one thing. How can you train your brain to think in English to reduce your accent? Well, that's two different things, Zach. training your brain to think in English is not the same as training your brain or reducing your accent. Those are two separate things, all right? Training your brain to think in English, you should read my article about training your brain to think in English, which is right, where is it? Oh, no, where's my pages? Oh, there they are. Wow, okay, hold on a minute. No, that's not what I want. I hate PCs. Okay, go over here. And you go over here. There we go. Weird. All right, now this... Okay. So my article about thinking in English is right here. Read that. Okay? But reducing your accent is about understanding why you have an accent. Accent is about mouth movement. So, are your mouth movements the same as my mouth movements? If they are not, then you will have an accent. So you need to think about how you are moving your mouth to make the sounds. And you may need to learn, how do I need to change my mouth to make it sound more like an English sound? Okay? You have an accent because you are still moving your mouth using the sounds of your language. But you need to learn that every language has mouth movements too. Okay? Based on my experience, what strategies help students to stay consistent and make real progress when learning a new language? Consistency... One, consistency is about motivation. So what I was saying earlier about you need to know why you're learning. That's a big thing. That's your fuel. If you don't know why you're learning, you have no fuel. Okay? Two, you need to make a plan. If you're serious about doing something, then you should have a plan written down. If you're not serious about it, then you won't write it down. So if you don't have a plan written down, then you're not a very serious learner. You need to sit down and think about, how am I going to practice reading? What should I do? How am I going to practice writing? What should I do? What do I need to do? Okay? So I think motivation and a good plan are two of the most important parts of consistency and real progress. Okay, let's see. Mahmoud, my schedule here on this app is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I start in the morning in America, New York City time. So somewhere around 9:30 or 10:30 in the morning, that's when I start here, okay? Have I ever been to China? I lived in Taiwan for 4.5 years, and I've been to Hong Kong a bunch of times. I have never been to the mainland, no. How many English tenses do I think I use in daily life? Ooh, it's hard to say. For me, I think probably most of them, because I'm a teacher. But, yeah, I don't think it's a good... You can't really judge based on me, because I'm a teacher. So daily life, I don't know, I'd say at least 10 of them. At least 10. Are there any apps? Of course, there are apps to benefit from learning English, Mahmoud. But I don't know what the current ones are right now because I have not gone online to look. But Mahmoud, if you are serious about learning, then get online and start checking out some apps. Try different apps and see what works for you. All right? Does body language make English effective? Of course it does. Body language makes any language more effective. Okay? If you have no body language, you're like a robot. Okay? You need body language. Does the American pronunciation contain glottal T's? Example like mountain, button, that boy, that's it, and football. Yes, it does, and no, it doesn't. Again, can I talk about the pronunciation of every American, 330 million people, as being the same? No. Glottal T's, like, for example, mountain. It's because the way the word is pronounced, you have this mount, and it's an NT. Now, many Americans don't pronounce the N at all. They say mountain. But there is an N, and it's supposed to be pronounced. It should be mountain. It's a mountain, okay? Because you have to mount it, all right? The word mount is in there. What does mount mean? What does mount mean? The word mount, M-O-U-N-T. The original meaning of mount means to get on a horse. It means to climb up. To get on a horse, you have to climb up. So what do you have to do on a mountain? You have to climb up. It's a mountain. Mount. The word mount is in the word mountain. Okay? So yes, there are glottal T's, but not everyone is good at pronouncing them correctly. Okay? And then it gets more complicated when you start talking about accents too. Okay? Tell you about reading strategies. Sammy, the reading strategy that I will tell you is this. Here's my reading strategy. Read. Read, 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 read. Read, 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 read. Read, 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 read. That's my reading strategy. How do you get better at reading? By reading. So read. All right? Read. That's the best way to get better at reading, by reading. All right? Now, other strategies would be you need to try reading different kinds of things. Read short stories, read articles, read novels, read books, read research articles or journals, read poetry, read song lyrics, read many different kinds of things. All right? And then you can try different authors. If you get more advanced, you can start thinking about which authors you should read and why you should read them. Why do we read Mark Twain? Why do we read The Great Gatsby, right? Those are also reading strategies. If you're talking about how to read faster or more quickly, there are many strategies for that too. Skimming right? Have you ever practiced skim reading, where you don't read everything, you just try to quickly just go, really, I want you to use your finger and move your finger as fast as you can on the page. That is skimming. Okay? You study hard, but you don't find results. You don't know why. How long have you studied? How long? A week? 2 weeks? A year? 2 years? What? Oh, Sammy, you want strategies for teaching reading. You didn't make that clear. Okay, 2 years. Now I want you to tell me, how have you been studying? What do you do? Because 2 years means nothing if you have a bad method. Right? If your method of studying is not good, then you won't make any progress. All right? So here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you another one of my articles. I have an article that you need. You need this article. The 8 parts of language, the 8 pillars of language. Okay? If you know what the 8 parts of language are, then you can make a plan for studying them properly. So start with reading that article as V, okay? So teaching reading. How do we teach reading? Okay, again, honestly, it's not that different. It's really not that different. When I teach reading, I show my students that they're supposed to be excited about reading. Now, is reading exciting all the time? No, of course not. But it should be exciting whenever you want it to be. So that means you have to find good books that you are interested in. And that's different for every student. This student likes these kinds of books, but this student likes another kind of books. So you have to find what you connect with. All right? So encourage your students to find things they connect with, all right? There's another website that I recommend if you're talking about beginners and intermediate level. ESLfast.com is a free website that has about 3,000 short stories. 3,000 short stories. They're short. They're tiny. They're very, very short. You don't need to stress. It's very short. All of them. You can do it. All right? So, maybe you're reading the wrong things. Mary says, it's hard to read when we don't know all the words. Mary, there are billions of books. Billions of them. If you choose a book that's too hard for you, then yes, it will be too hard for you. But there are billions of books. Choose a different book, one that's not too hard for you. Or don't read a book yet. Read short stories. Okay? There are many websites with short stories. There are books that you can buy, one book that will have 100 or 200 short stories in them. All right? That you can just read the short story. Okay? Okay, next question is fluency more about mindset or technique? Fluency is about comfort. Okay, the word fluent is a word I hate because it doesn't really have any meaning. Okay, if you look online and you look up the word, what does fluent mean? It always says something like you're able to speak comfortably about anything, freely and comfortably about things. That's what it says. Able to speak freely and comfortably. Look, I'll look it up right now. Fluent, let's find the word. The definition is spoken or written with ease. So, The problem is, how do you define that? How do you achieve that? You can't achieve that because that just is so vague. Fluent, what does it mean? How many vocabulary words do you need to be fluent? Is it 2,455 or 2,456? How much grammar do you need to be fluent? Do you have to have perfect grammar, or can your grammar be a little bit off? What about your accent? Does your accent have anything to do with fluency? So that's why fluent is a terrible word. It doesn't help you. It's like an island that you can't get to. If you can't get to it, then why are you trying? Don't. I want you to change your mind, and I want you to stop trying to be fluent. I want you to start trying to be comfortable. The goal of this is comfort, because language is a performance. Language is a performance. I am a performer. Right now, I am performing for you. That's why you're watching me, because my words are exciting to you somehow. Something about what I'm doing is interesting to you. That's a performance. Now, do I seem nervous? Do I seem nervous? Anyone? Hello, Miguel. And even L, hello, both of you in my YouTube channel. Do I seem nervous? No, I'm not nervous. Why? Why am I not nervous? Because I have done this a lot. Now, was I nervous when I started teaching? Yeah. When I started teaching, I was nervous. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. And comfort brings confidence. And confidence makes you sound like you know what you're talking about. Okay? Even if you don't. Okay, next question. Hello, Maria. How are things going here? They're going... the weather is wonderful. The politics are terrible. Okay, next. Should we get some specific course for English or just practice here with random people? You should do whatever you think you should do, Ahmad. Some people, they get a course and they have a private teacher and they have lots of books and they have videos and apps and live streams and all kinds of different ways to learn. Some people, they just talk to random people. So, Ahmad, I want you to think, if I were learning Urdu, you're from Pakistan, so if I am learning Urdu, should I take a course and talk to a bunch of people and books and apps and blah, 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 or should I just talk to random people to learn Urdu? Just think about what you would tell people about your language. How would you recommend somebody learn your language? Would you just tell them to just listen to some random person? Probably not. Okay? Okay, let's see. Please be patient. I'm trying to read all of them. Do you think it becomes easier to know the words when you read with time? Of course, Miriam. Yes. Okay, listen to me, everybody. Listen carefully. Every teacher in America that teaches native kids, native students, we can tell which students read and which students don't read so easily. The students who read, they have an amazing vocabulary. The students who don't read, don't. It's that simple. So yes, if you read, your vocabulary will grow a lot faster. Okay. Should I watch more English videos or listen to audio to think in English? You should do both. You should do both. Okay? Again, guys, please listen to me. When you went to school, they taught you something wrong. Please listen. When you went to school, they taught you that you need to be efficient when you learn. They taught you that you should focus on being efficient when you learn, what does efficient mean? It means that you're going to do it with the least amount of work, the least amount of energy, the least amount of effort, and the least amount of time. That's what school teaches you about learning. But that is wrong. Learning is not an act of efficiency. Learning is an act of proficiency. Proficiency means you know it well. Not fast, not lazy, well. So when you learn, your goal should never be faster. Your goal should always be better. Learning is not about learning fast. Learning is about knowing. Understand? So forget about the time. Forget about the time. It's not about the time. It's about understanding. Okay? You're not in school anymore, most of you. So if you're not in school, then you need to remember that learning is about knowing, not about doing it fast. Okay? You only did it fast in school because you have to. They don't have time. Okay? But you're not in school now. There are no tests. So now you have time. So do it right. Okay? Okay, let's see. When I watch American TV series, hello Dima. When I watch American TV series or movies, it seems like totally different language, not that English that I learned. Yeah, you're right. It depends on what series, Dima. But yes, this is proper English. Okay? I'm trying to teach you the proper way to speak in order to express yourself using this language well. But I'm teaching you classical music. Okay? And I'm teaching you music theory. Right? That means I'm teaching you the most important parts of the theory and the rules of music, of language. But there are many kinds of music that don't really care about those rules. Like jazz music doesn't really care about those rules. Rock music, punk music doesn't really care about those rules. So, Dima, people are like that. Right now I'm speaking classical music, but there are many people who they speak jazz. Understand? It's not a formalized. It's a more relaxed and culturally let me think of the right word. It's a more relaxed it's just common language. It's a more relaxed and common way to speak. That's the word. Common. Okay? See, look, even I sometimes can't find the right word. I need a minute. Okay? Ahmad says, I try to memorize words and I can't remember them. Yeah, so don't memorize them. Do something else. Try learning. It's better than memorizing. Learning is always better than memorizing. So here's an article I have about how to learn vocabulary the better way. Please go read this article about, where'd it go? This one. Read this article about how to learn vocabulary the right way. All right? How can you improve listening? Ryan, the way to improve listening, the first thing you must do is you must listen to the right people. Don't just listen to anyone. Okay, if you go on YouTube, 98% of the people on YouTube are not good for you. You have to find that 2% of people. Okay, we'll call it 10%. Let's say 10%. You need to look for the 10% of people on YouTube or TikTok or wherever you look who speak well. Not cool. Please don't make that mistake. Too many learners of English, they listen to somebody for the wrong reason. They're listening to them because they think that guy sounds cool, not because he sounds correct. Don't listen to people because they sound cool. You don't need to do that. Okay? You don't need to do that. Listen to people who speak well. That's the first advice about listening. What can I suggest and recommend to read? I can suggest and recommend that you read everything. Films that are good for English. Zohal, I cannot tell you a list, but I can tell you the type. Movies or TV shows that are good for English are movies about family, work, friendship, life, real life, okay? Dramas and comedies are usually pretty good. Dramas and comedies are usually pretty good. Sometimes romance is even good for learning English. But I love science fiction movies, but they're not usually good for learning English. Like the Transformers movie. If you like that, great. But that's not a movie for learning English. All right? Okay? And then, one more thing about watching TV or movies or podcasts in America. Go online and search for the transcript. The transcript, the transcript, the transcript. What is a transcript? It means if you're watching this TV show or this movie, all of the words that they say, it's printed out for you so you can hold it in your hands. You can hold it in your hands while you're watching the show. And now you can make notes on the paper. You can circle the vocabulary you don't know. You can circle the phrases that you like. Get the transcript. It's free. All of them are free. Just get the transcript and now you can study. All right? Whew. Man, I'm running out of breath. Do you say reading is more useful way than other methods to learn a language? Or it just helps to learn more words? It's one of the most important ways to learn any language is reading. But there are 8 things that you must study in a language. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Those are the 8 parts of language. So whatever language you are learning, you must study the grammar, the vocabulary, the pronunciation, the reading, the writing, the listening, the speaking, and the thinking. Okay? All right. Is there any English course in my mind? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Safe. I am a teacher, so if you want to study with me, you can buy lessons, and I make courses for every student. If you got a C2 and your English is amazing and I start to try to learn another language, what should I do to not forget English when I'm living between? Miss Ha, you must do two things. One, if you got a C2, then I expect that you always should write at the level of your ability. So what you just wrote to me has a lot of mistakes in it. I think you know that because you're just being casual. You're not trying too much. But that's what I'm trying to tell you, is if you want to care about your language, then you have to care. So that means you should never write below your level. You should never speak below your level. If you got a C2 level, then why are you using a B1 level? Never, ever, ever. If you can do C2, then do it. Always. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have to get the language in your mind so that you can practice any language, anywhere, anytime, always, without trying, right? So if I know, let's say I know 4 languages. If I know 4 languages, I can practice any of them anytime. So today, if I want to, I can think about my life in another language. I'll do all the normal things I do. I wake up, I get some coffee, I take a shower, I get cleaned up. I think about all those things, just like I always do. But just use a different language to think. Then you can keep the language alive in your mind. Okay? Give you some authentic vocabulary. I don't know what that means. Authentic. Every word I say is authentic. Okay, Ahmad? If you come here, you'll learn a lot of vocabulary because I do teach vocabulary, okay? But, yeah. Can I recommend the right people? Ryan, TED Talks are great, usually. TED Talks, TED.com. They're a little advanced, but they're great speakers. Okay, that's a good place to start. Is there any free English pronunciation website? Yeah, there are lots of them. You should go to my website, and on my website, go subscribe to my website. It's free. Go subscribe, and then you can click on resources, and then click on pronunciation, and you'll find a bunch of links to help you with your pronunciation. Okay, next question. Hello, Ahad. When you speak English, you feel like your accent sounds too much like your native language. How can it be fixed? Noor, for most people in the Middle East, if you speak Arabic, most Arabic speakers, the biggest problem they have is the letter R. The Arabic R is very different than the American R. Okay? The Arabic R is very fast and quick and short. So if I say the word shukran, 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 it has that R in it, but it's not an American R. It's a quick flip of the tongue. Okay? Almost like a Spanish R. But the American R is very long. So I want you to say the word car. And then I want you to pretend you are a tiger. You are a lion. That's the R sound. That's the American R. Car. Okay? So the biggest difference between Arabic and English with pronunciation is the R sound. Okay? There are a bunch of other ones too, but yeah. TikTok. Well, again, on TikTok, I would say look at TED Talks on TikTok. TikTok, TED Talks. That's hard to say. TikTok, TED Talks. TikTok, TED Talks. TikTok, TED Talks. That's a good tongue twister. Man, I'm getting hot. I need to take off my jacket. Turn off the heater. Oh. Miguel, how are you doing, my friend? Am I here every day? Not every day, Monday through Friday. Unless I'm in a bad mood, then I'm not here. All right? Now, let's see. Somebody wants to come talk to me. Let's talk to Ahmed first. Hold on. Ahmed, do you want to come talk to me? No? Ahmed, are you there? You had your hand raised, but I guess you're too shy. So let's talk to Miss Ha. No? I thought you guys wanted to talk to me. If you want to talk to me, raise your hand. Then you can come ask me a question. Please don't just come on my stage and say, hey, can we chat? Come on. My time is valuable to someone. That didn't sound very convincing, did it? My time is valuable. It didn't sound very, very, very confident. All right. How about Panda Man? Finally, somebody. I think I remember you. Hello, Panda
Hello,
Man.
teacher Mark.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So how are you doing,
I'm good.
teacher?
I'm good. And
Uh,
you're in Canada, right?
yeah, I am. I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm still learning. So
Okay.
I hope you don't yeah you don't kick me off the stage
No, of
because I'm
course.
still
No, I
learning.
would never kick you off the stage just because you're from Canada. I like Canadians.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I actually have one question for you. Yeah, I heard you were talking about the eight aspects of learning a language, right?
Hmm.
I agree. I agree with all of these eight points. Uh, but do you think that the vocabulary is the most important one, the foundation of all others?
So here's how I look at it. You can't really say like that, but there is a relationship that's important.
Mm,
The way I think about it is that reading, writing, and listening and speaking and thinking, those are what I call the active parts of language. But to use the active parts of language, you must use the other three parts. Those are the passive parts of language. So you have to study pronunciation to know how to pronounce anything. You have to study vocabulary to know the words. You have to study grammar in order to understand the structure, right? And
mm.
the theory, right? So there are five active parts of language, but to use those active parts of language, you must study the three passive parts of language.
I see. So then, do you think it's a good practice to learn these eight different aspects in a step-by-step process, like phase one, phase two, phase three?
Not really, no. They all actually need to be. I think about it more like a table with 8 legs. and the table has to stay even. You know, it has to stay even the whole time. You don't want a table like this, right? So the problem is that language has to stay in balance. So if you have great speaking but terrible grammar, it's not good. If you've got great grammar but terrible speaking, not good, right? So they need to stay somewhat in balance. So I always try to think about it like a table that you have to, you know, keep them level. And that means you also need to consider what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, right? And this is a big problem for many, many students because humans don't like to do things that make you feel bad. That's just normal. That's nature, right? We always don't like to do it. If it's hard, I don't like that.
Yes. That's true. That's true.
But the thing is, if you like it, it's probably easy for you, right? But the thing is, if you're learning, you can't focus on the things that you're already good at. You have to focus on the things that you're not good at. So that means you need to focus on being uncomfortable. You need to focus on not making yourself feel good. If you don't feel good when you're learning, you're probably doing it right.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So that's why learning is always always feels easier to people who like challenges, right?
Well, that's true. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but let's say to a person who know almost nothing about English or any other language, right? But he wants to start to learn this language. So for this 8 aspects, so do they need to learn some vocabulary before they can go on to thinking English, to care about grammar?
Like I said, it's kind of a balancing act. So what I would say is if you are starting from nothing, then you also need to consider your goals, right? Like everybody has different goals in language learning. There are some people who just want to learn basic language to talk with friends on TikTok or play video games. They don't really care about a high standard of language. They don't want to sound proper. They want to sound cool. Right? So they like to like use all the slang words and right. So that's different, right? If that's your goal,
right.
then you have a completely different learning process for that goal. But if you want to get a master's degree in English, now that's a very different goal. So now you have to have a very different system, right? So first thing you have to do is consider what's your goal. Then you can develop your plan to figure out what to do. But yes, okay, you're right. To learn any language, you do start with some vocabulary. But it's also some grammar and some pronunciation. So, for example, when I learned Chinese, one of the first things that I studied was the numbers, right? And every day I would do 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10, and I would say the tones and draw them. I would draw the tones in the air so that I know I'm doing it right. I'm a musician, so I think that gives me a little bit of an advantage in a tonal language because I understand the tones, right? When they told me just hold it and hold the note, like 你说 I understand, right? I get it. I understand. It's a pitch. You have to hold that pitch like music, right? So musicians have a bit of an advantage. But if you're learning a new language, like if I were teaching someone Chinese, then I would start with some basic words, basic phrases, but I would also have to teach them about, like I said, 1 through 10. Can you say 1 through 10 in Chinese properly? If you can, that's a great start because that's the tones,
Oh yeah, you are right. I've never thought from this angle before because okay, many Chinese learners always tell me that the tone is the most difficult thing. So they just don't get any effective way
Yeah.
to tackle it, right?
Yeah.
So now, yeah, when you say, okay, if you can speak the numbers correct, then maybe
That's
you can
right.
speak any other
That's
yeah
right. So
word
you
correct.
start with the numbers, and the numbers will give you the ability to understand the tones. That's the start. That's pronunciation, right? And vocabulary. Right? Because you're learning the
Yeah,
numbers, right? So that's a
yeah.
start. That's why I mean it's a balancing act. It's never just one, it's always a little bit of a few, at least,
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
So, yeah. Of course, vocabulary is very important to any language. And it's one of the reasons why I love Chinese, because Chinese the grammar of Chinese compared to English grammar, the basic grammar of Chinese, so basic, so easy.
Yeah, very simple, right?
Yeah. So
Very
what that
simple.
means is it's so awesome, because what that means is if you learn Chinese, then all you need to do is learn a bunch of vocabulary words, and you can just start putting them together in your head and make
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sentences.
That's
And
another, yeah,
yeah,
very either part about Chinese. Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
right. It makes it so much easier. And sometimes maybe your grammar is not even right, but nobody cares. They heard the right words, and maybe it's in the wrong order, but they know what you mean, so they're
yeah,
fine. They don't care. And but English, yeah, there's a little more grammar in English, so you have to think about it a little bit more. It takes a little bit more time to think about it, right?
yeah, the conjugations can be very confusing to
That's
many
right.
people.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's right. So when I teach people about how to think in a language, thinking in English, I tell them it comes in 4 stages. Okay?
Oh,
And
what that? What are they? Yeah.
stage
Could you tell
1
us?
is what we call baby English. And baby English is babies don't know grammar. They don't care about grammar at all. So forget about grammar. There is no grammar involved in baby English, okay? What do babies think about? They think about how they feel, what they want, what they like, what they don't like, and what they need and don't need. That's it. So they think things like, I'm happy, I'm tired, I'm sad, I'm hungry, I like that, I don't like that, I want that, I don't want that, I need that, I don't need that. That's it. That's baby life, okay? Now, is any of that difficult? No. In any language. I could learn that in any language in 1 month easily. I can learn how to think those simple things in any language in 1 month.
Yeah.
But the problem is, here's the thing. Simple, because it's simple, you don't do it.
That's a good point. Yeah, because yeah, many adults think, okay, I cannot act like a baby, right?
That's
I'm
right.
mature.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right. So this is one of the problems with when you learn a language, you're an adult and you have 2 brains now. 2 brains, 2 minds. One is an adult mind in Chinese, but then you have your English mind and you're just learning, so you're a
yeah, yeah,
you're a
yeah,
baby in English. And that
yeah.
feels very uncomfortable when you're an adult, because it means that you have to be willing to feel like a baby. That's vulnerable, that you know, it's you can be hurt, right? When you're young and you don't know anything, you make a lot of mistakes. But what do babies do? Babies, they get up, they walk, they fall on their face, they get up, they walk, they fall on their face, they get up, they walk, they fall on their face. That's the art of learning, is getting up, walking, falling on your face, and getting back up again. All right? So that's the process of learning. Is it's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to fall down. All right? And in the beginning, you start with baby English. It's just simple little things like feelings and simple things, right? But again, this is the funniest thing, because every one of you can do this, but none of you do.
Yeah. So that's you. That's you.
Yeah, so next time you feel hungry, don't think I'm hungry in your native language. Think I'm hungry in English. Next time you're tired, don't think I'm tired in your native language. Think I'm tired in English. Start trying to make all of your simple thoughts in English.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Because yeah, many people are expressing that oh, it's very hard to think in another language, right? Especially I don't have that large vocabulary. I don't know any grammar. So yeah, you're right. For babies, they can express themselves with only one or two words,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
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 If
And
they're
that's fine.
thirsty,
That's right. Me
water.
want.
Yeah.
Me want. Want apple. Right?
Yeah.
That's why I like Chinese, because Chinese is kind of like that too. Because if I just say something very simple, like in Chinese, I have to say, I'm sorry, in English, I have to say, I want to go to the store. But in Chinese, 我要去商店. It's a little more basic, more simple, quicker, faster. There's nothing to think about, right? But there's so many words to think about in English. But babies don't do that. Babies don't care about that. So
Yeah.
you can do that too. In the beginning, just like me in Chinese, I didn't
Yeah.
care about the grammar. I just put some words together. And then if I'm wrong, I'll say it and somebody will say, well, that's not right. And that's fine. That's how I
Exactly.
learn. That's how I learn.
Yeah.
That's me falling on my face. I fell on my face just like a baby. Then I'll get
Yeah.
back up. And now I know. Now they told me, no, don't say it this way. Say it this way. All
Yeah,
right?
yeah. At the beginning, yeah, you don't even need to use a whole sentence, right? A
That's right.
complete sentence.
That's
Yeah,
right.
just some words or a phrase or
That's
yeah,
right.
whatever.
And then I
Yeah.
want you to do what babies do. Babies look around their world all day and they try to define their world. They say, what is this called? What is this called? What is this called? So in Chinese, that's what I did every day. Jigga sama shul, jigga sama shul, jigga sama shul. That's all I did every day was just looked around and say, oh, jigga sama shul, bujidao. Jigga sama shul, bujidao, xie. 这是我的功课. That's my homework. That's my homework, right? So, and again, why can I think in Chinese? Because I got comfortable, because I did it enough. That's it. If you never do it, you're never going to be comfortable. But
Yeah.
I can speak because I can think. That's the secret. You have to get it comfortable here if you ever want to be comfortable here.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
So that's
Yeah, I
step
totally
one
agree
is
with you.
baby English. Step two is what I call curious kid English. Between the ages of 5 and 13, 12, 13, kids ask so many questions. Who's that? What are we doing? Where are we going? Why? When? How? That's all they do is they ask questions. Why? Why do kids ask so many questions?
Because they want to learn. They want to know the answer.
Yes, that's true. But there's an evolutionary reason. When you're a child, you are vulnerable. You are a child. So you better ask a lot of questions about your world, because if you don't know what danger is. So you have to ask a lot of questions to learn about the world you now live in. But when you learn a new language, you forget this. You forget that this is part of language, is this feeling of defining your world with the language by looking around and asking questions. So that's what I did in Chinese. I would go to the store, and then every day I go to the store and I'd say, again, 这个什么说,这个什么说,这个什么说, or I would say, 今天我需要买什么东西. Today I need to buy what? What do I need to buy? 这个就是非常贵，为什么这是太贵了? Right? I would say, oh, this is too expensive. Why is this so expensive? Right? I'm just thinking in my mind, I'm looking around, I'm saying, who is here? Who is here? Oh, I see my neighbor. I see the boss. I see some workers. What are they doing? Oh, they're my neighbor is buying some milk. The boss is talking to the worker about something. Where is the store? Oh, it's down the street and to the right. When do they open? When do they close? Can you ask those questions in English, and can you answer them in English? Just like a kid, a curious kid. Now, there's a second part of curious kid English. Besides asking a lot of questions, kids also learn that language is a way to show your maturity. So when you're a baby, you say mama, dada, and you say yummy, right? But when you get older, you say mom and dad, and you say delicious, not yummy. Right? Because kids learn, I don't want to be a baby, so I'm not going to say yummy. I'm going to say delicious. Okay? So that's another part of Curious Kid English is they start learning other words that are better, like adjectives and adverbs mostly. Okay? A lot of adjectives, a lot of adverbs. Then we get to stage 3. Stage 3 is high school English. It's called identity English. It means high school kids, they want to talk about themselves. Who are they? What do they do? What do they like? What do they not like? What are their hobbies? What are their interests? What are they studying in school? Where have they traveled? What are their goals and dreams? Okay, so you need to think about this. I call it simple topics. Simple topics, okay? So simple topics are like hobbies, family, friends, work, right? So I want you to think about your family in English. Can you think about your family in English completely? Can you describe every member of your family and why you like them and where they met and where they're living and how many kids do they have and what do they do? All those things. Can you think about it in English? If you can think about it, then you can say it.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what I do. That's stage 3. Now each stage. Yes, you do need to learn some grammar, right? Baby English, no. But the next stage, yeah, of course, you need to start learning some basic grammar with the stage 2 English. And then, of course, when you get to high school level English, you do need to learn a little more grammar there too, right? Stage 4 is a stage that most people never reach in a second language, and many people don't even reach it in the first language. Stage 4 is advanced topics. Can you talk about religion, politics, economics, science, history, philosophy, these types of things? Those are really hard, right? So, my Chinese, I can do level 3, but I can't do level 4. I can't talk about economics in Chinese. I don't have that level, not yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll get there. But the thing is, though, most language doesn't happen there. Most language happens in stage 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so stage 4 is not that important. Depending on you. I mean, if your goal is to talk about economics, then fine, that's important. But most people don't want to or need to talk about philosophy or politics or economics in a second language. Yeah. So those are my stage. Those are the 4 stages.
Yeah, even for those advanced topics, I think there are also different levels, right? If you are interested in science, right? So there are science for primary school students, there's science for high school students, science for college students, right? So you can also do it by
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And I do that with my students. I have some science books that are like kids' science books, and I start them with that, But that's right. You're right. You need to look at it like everything can be broken down into a simpler thing. That is the art of learning and the art of teaching, is looking at some subject and figuring out, well, how do I break this down? As a student, that's what you have to do. And as a teacher, that's what you have to do. I have to look at one subject and break it down and explain it to you. That's it.
Yeah, that's almost like an art.
It
Right?
is. It's completely an art. It's completely an art. You have to be able to look at one subject and then figure out, okay, if I want to learn this, how do I do it? So, and the thing is, many people never learn this because many people never study one thing long enough to really learn this. You have to study one thing. You have to choose something in your life that you care about so much that you really, really study it intensely. And once you know that level, you understand how to learn that it's not just a little bit. You're not just dipping your feet in the water. You're jumping in. Okay?
Diving, right?
That's right. You're diving in. You're not just putting your foot in the water a little bit to test it, you know? You're jumping in and you know a method, right? So I studied drums. I started playing the drums when I was 11 years old, and I went to school for it, and I studied with many, many, many teachers, and I played professionally for many, 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 many years. So I learned how to learn by playing the drums. And that gave me the ability to now do anything. I can look at any subject and I can say, I can break that down because I know how to break things down. I learned it by learning drums, but it can be anything. You just have to pick one thing and really decide, I'm going to study this seriously.
I see. Yeah. So how many years have you been learning Chinese?
Oh, I don't really know. It's a long time. Yeah, like maybe 15 years, something like that. I think, okay, so 2009 is when I first went to Taiwan to teach English.
I see.
And I knew nothing then, absolutely nothing. I didn't even know ni hao. I knew nothing then. When I moved there, I knew nothing at all. I had a friend who invited me over there. I was tired of being a musician. I had been a musician for so many years, and if you do any job for too long, you eventually get tired of it. And I just got tired of doing that, and my friend said, hey, come over here. You can sleep on my couch and you can work. I'll get you a job at the kindergarten with me, and you can try something different and see how it is. And I loved it immediately. I loved it because I already loved teaching. I was a drum teacher. I started teaching drums when I was 18. So I've been a teacher for most of my life. And now I just had to change the subject that I was teaching. And again, I could because I learned how to do drums. So now I just had to think, okay, now I have to teach English. So how do I do that? You know, so I had to start all over. And I didn't know anything about teaching English. I just decided to do it.
I see. Yeah. So, okay. So is Chinese the only foreign language you are learning, or you are also learning other language? Oh yeah, you're also learning Japanese.
Well,
Spanish.
so Chinese is the only language that I'm really formally studying or trying to be good at. Okay. But as an English teacher, and because I love culture and history and just learning, I have learned a little bit about many, many languages. So I have studied Latin, I have studied Italian, I have studied German, I have studied Spanish, I have studied a little bit of Japanese and Slovak and Russian and Arabic and Portuguese and, you know, like, but when I say that, I mean, I can say like 10 words or 20 words or something like that, you know, and maybe I know a little bit about the linguistics of each language because it helps me as a teacher. If I can understand your language, the way you move your mouth or the way you produce sounds, it makes it easier for me to teach you English. So,
yeah,
so I think about linguistics a lot, and I studied linguistics some, a little.
yeah. So yeah, that's right. So yeah, the uh, how should I put it? So methodologies, right? The methodologies are uh,
Methodologies.
methodology. Yeah, the
Yeah,
methodologies are can be applied right to
that's
other
exactly
teaching
right.
methods.
Yeah, once you learn one methodology that is a general methodology of learning, a proper way to learn, then yeah, you can apply that to learning anything. But you have to
Yeah,
learn, you have to decide to learn one thing. And when I say you have to be really serious about this. Okay, this
yeah,
is
yeah.
this is another thing that
That's
people,
true.
I think a lot of people don't really understand what it means to be serious about something. When you're
Yeah.
a professional musicians do not count how many hours they play or practice. Right? So amateurs, they say I practice 1 hour every day.
Uh,
Amateurs, they say, I practice 2 hours every day. And they're so proud of their 2 hours. Look at me, I can do 2 hours every day. But you know what we say in music? We say real men don't count.
mm,
That
yeah,
means
that's
that
true.
if you're serious about it, you don't count how many hours you do. You just do it because you love it, because it's serious. Okay,
Yeah.
so when I was 18 or 19 years old, I had no life at all because all I did all day long was study and practice drums. So I mean, I'm very serious when I say that every day between the ages of 18 and I don't know, probably 22, almost every day was 6 to 8 hours
Yeah, yeah.
of drumming.
That's right. Yeah, you have to have that kind of passion, right, for something to learn that thing very well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
call it in music. We have a term for it.
Uh-huh.
Every professional musician, they all have at least 1 or 2 or 3 years where they have no life. And all they do is study, and it's just music, music, music. That's all they do. And we call that being ate up. Ate up. It means your entire life is eaten by this thing. Right? Your
Oh,
entire
okay.
life is eaten
Yeah.
by drums or music or whatever you're studying, right? So you are ate up. So
Yeah.
that's what we talk about in music. We'll be like, oh man, that guy is so ate up right now. He's so ate up because that means he's practicing all the time. That's all he does is think about that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark, I think Dana down there has a question for you. So,
Oh, sure. Difference between come in and come on in. Nothing. 差不多的意思都可以说随便。Okay, yeah. 一些人说 come in，一些人说 come on in 都可以。Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't. There's no difference.
Yeah.
There are so many, many, many things like that in English, where you can add one little word that doesn't have any extra meaning. There's no extra meaning to it. You can say it this way or you can say it that way, but it doesn't really add anything. Like the word that. That word often gets used when it doesn't need to be, but it's okay. It doesn't make it wrong. It's just there, but doesn't need to be there. You could take it out and it would still work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, the native English speakers use this quite often.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, of course, yeah, if you like this kind of way of speaking, yeah, you can learn it, but it's not, a huge difference. Yeah.
That's right. And somebody else said that they can understand me, but they can't understand others. And I hear that a lot. Why is that true? There are a few reasons why that's true. The number one reason why that's true is because this is my job. I'm an English teacher. Of course. Shouldn't an English teacher have good English? They should. They should. They don't always, but they should. So that's one reason. The second reason is because, yes, when I am teaching, I do slow down. Why? Because if your words are important, then why do you go so fast? The faster you go, the less meaning your words have. But the slower you go, the more meaning your words have. So I speak slowly because I want my words to have meaning. Okay? And another reason is because I enunciate. Enunciate means to overpronounce everything very clearly. I don't speak lazily. So my nephew, I love my nephew, but when he speaks, he barely moves his mouth. Right? So when he speaks, he says to me, Uncle Mark, do you want to go fishing next Saturday, Uncle Mark? Do you want to go fishing? His mouth is like this. It barely moves. It's like not moving. His mouth is not moving at all. But when I speak like this, and it's very, very clear because my mouth is very open and I enunciate. 就是夸张的, very exaggerated, right? So that's another reason why. And then the final reason why is because I am using one of the nicest microphones that you can use. I'm a musician. So as a musician, sound quality is very important to me. So it was easy when I started streaming because I already had nice equipment. Because I'm a musician. So I already had, this microphone is the same microphone that CNN uses and MSNBC uses. And yeah, so
It's
a professional microphone. Yeah, I'm using the same equipment they use. So that's part of the reason why the quality of sound is better than everybody else. But I did that on purpose because I'm a musician and I'm a teacher. So I know that if I make my sound quality better, you can understand me more. All right, now watch. I'm going to prove it to you because I can change the sound quality right now. So if I switch, if I turn on some reverb, let's do that. So watch what happens to my voice. Right now, it's very, very clear because the way I have my room and the way I have my microphone is very clear. But if I do this, then watch what happens to my voice. It's going to get a lot less clear. Now you can't... what happened? Now it's like I'm in a big room. It's not clear. But now it's clear. That is called reverberation. Reverberation. And sometimes when you watch a live stream, the live streamer is just using their phone and they're in a big room. So it sounds like that. But I'm right here in front of the microphone very, very closely. And my room is dead. It doesn't have any... There's no sound. So there's no reverb. That's called reverb. So that's part of the reason why it's more clear. It's one, because it's my job. Two, because I try to speak more clearly and I slow down. And three, because I'm using the best equipment you can get.
Yeah. I think this is also very important for the streamers, or even just for the guests who are on the stage, right? Because sometimes, if we have one person on the stage with lots of background noise, that can be very,
that's one reason. That's one reason I only have one person on the stage. I know you can have 2 or 3 people on the stage, but when you do that, now you have 3 open microphones, and now you're hearing all the noise from all those different people at the same time, or I have to mute them, and that's annoying. So I usually only have one person on stage at the same time. And then, yes, you're right. I usually tell people you cannot come on my stage if you are someplace very loud. If you're at a restaurant, that's not a good time to come on my stage. If you're on the street in the middle of a busy city, Beijing or New Delhi or something, don't come on my stage then. That's not a good time. It's too noisy. That's not a good environment, So, yeah, sound quality is part of the thing you need to think about. Like I remember when I took my Chinese class, I took a class in Chinese in Taiwan, and I had to do a listening test. And the listening test was in this classroom that was very had a lot of reverb, right? And they played it on the speakers, and I couldn't understand anything. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? And then I said, wait, please, let me take it again with my headphones so I can hear it. And I got every answer right. And I told them, I said, listen, I'm a musician. You don't understand. That's not clear. That's not fair. That's not fair to the students because you have a classroom that the quality of sound affects what they're hearing. So they're not hearing it well. And you're asking them to do a test when you're not giving them the best sound they could have, right? So, yeah, actually after that they changed and they made it so that everybody used headphones. So, anyway. But Panda Man, you sound good, and you ask the right questions. You're asking the right questions, so you're thinking about language in the right way.
Thank you very much, Teacher Mark. Yeah, it's always a pleasure talking with you.
Likewise.
And, yeah.
Likewise.
Okay, yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome.
Then, yeah, I will give this to other people who need it.
Wonderful.
And, thank you very much.
All right. Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see. Let me just check the comments and make sure I didn't miss any comments here. Hello, Power. Welcome back. You're very curious about China? And you're asking, how did I learn English so well? Do you mean how did I learn Chinese or how did I learn English? I learned English in school just like every other kid here. But if you mean Chinese, I learned Chinese by teaching myself, mostly. But you have to understand when other people talk about it. Fred Lee, I'm not sure what you're commenting on anymore. I'm sorry. Hello, Dana. Let's see. Can you tell me about the general words? Anna, I think you want to know about slang, right? Is that what you're asking about, Anna? You want to know about slang, common phrases, I don't usually teach slang for a bunch of reasons. There are a lot of reasons why I don't teach slang. But the most important reason is because slang is not good for all language. It's only good in some places. So many people who learn slang, they don't understand where to use it and when to use it. And many people, they think that if I use slang, then I will sound cool. And that's what they really want, is they want to sound cool. I'm not in the business of helping you be cool. I'm in the business of helping you be you. And that should be the same. If you are trying to be cool, then you are not cool. If you are trying to be yourself, then you are cool. So how do you do that? Be yourself. All right? And being yourself means don't think about the language like, I want to learn the cool words that all the young people say. No. Try to learn the language so that you can communicate and say something that matters. You should be learning the language so that you can say things that matter. Okay? Slang doesn't matter. It never matters. Slang is not important. All right? It's hard for you to get the meaning of painfully, a painfully broken family, leaving the broken family painfully. So painfully 就是有痛，有痛的, okay? But it could be real pain or figurative pain. Okay, so that means that it could be, I broke my arm. Oh, that's painful. It's full of pain. Okay? 有很痛. But painful could be a painful breakup. Like you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. That's painful. It hurts. That's all it means. But hurt, Dana, hurt can be real or hurt can be inside. Right? When did I buy the microphone? I don't know. Many years ago now. It's expensive. You don't want to know. But this is my job. Okay? This is my job. So it's different from me. All right? I bought this for you. That's why I bought this. I bought this for you. All right? You want to hear me playing the drums? Oh, I can't today. No, I'm sorry. I can't. I would, but I can't today because today it's not connected. I took all my cables apart because I was cleaning. So, all right. The irony is those who learn the slang words of another language, they don't know the slang words of their own language when it comes to another region. That's sometimes true. Sometimes that's true. You're right. Yeah. Hello, Lee. This is my first time entering your live stream. However, my spoken English is so poor. In the IELTS test, I only excel in writing and reading, but my speaking answers are often criticized by my teachers for inaccurate pronunciation. I feel so inferior. Lee, 没事没事. It's okay, 没关系. Okay? 很多中国人就是一样的. Okay? 他们是一样的. All right? 他们可以写，可以读。可是，如果他们说，这是很弱的. Okay? It's weak. But it's normal. But why? Why can't you speak? Why not? You can't speak because you can't think. You can't speak because you can't think. So, learn how to think. All right? You can't see me. Who doesn't see me? Can you guys see me? Hi, I'm right here. Can you see me? Okay, so is it Shoaib? Shoaib, everybody else can see me, so I don't know why you can't see me. I'm right here. All right? You're starting to feel good, more confident. That's good. So, 明天如果你很累，你需要想什么？李，我问你一个问题。If you're tired tomorrow, then tomorrow, don't think 我很累. Think I'm tired. If you're hungry tomorrow, Don't think 我肚子饿，我很饿. No, think I'm hungry. All right? That's all. 加油，效能生巧. All right? Zach Wild sold your soul. I can't remember that song, but I know who Zach Wild is. I'm glad you like it. That's good for you. Painfully hurt or inside. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Chinese is pleasing to hear. It's like a musical beat. Well, that's cool. I like that comment. That's right. Try to think every little thing in your daily life in English. 对啊，对。现在我住在美国，做这个。每天我需要想的中文。OK， 如果你可以想的，你可以说的。All right. So, guys, it has been 1 hour and 51 minutes. And I am going to give you my YouTube channel. Here's my YouTube channel. And on my YouTube channel, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos just like this one. Just like today, where I answer questions. Okay? So if you want to know about English, go watch some of my videos and make notes. Okay? And here is my website. If you want to buy lessons from me, I teach. Okay? Most of my students are Chinese because I speak Chinese. Makes it a lot easier for me to teach you because I know your language. But I can teach anyone. I've taught people from all over the world. So whatever country you're from, if you want to take lessons from me, you can. But you must pay me. So you can go to my website and buy lessons if you want to. Or you can go to my blog. You can go to my blog, and on my blog you can read about the things I've written. Okay, I've written a bunch of articles there. Most of them are about English. 95% are about English. All right, so read them. Okay, thank you, Dana. So if you're new, I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. Okay, almost everybody on Hello Talk knows me because I've been here forever. All right. I've been live streaming here for 5 years. I have about 88,000 followers here. Why? Why do I have 88,000 followers? It's not because I'm cute. Well, maybe a little bit. It's because I teach. It's because I teach. All right? That's why people come here. All right? Not because I'm cute. No, because I teach. All right? So come back and see me again sometime. See me tomorrow. No, wait. No, tomorrow is Saturday, so I probably won't be here. I'm not usually here on the weekend. I'm usually here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Around this time. Okay? I have been here for 2 hours. I've been here for 2 hours today. So I started 2 hours ago. All right, that's usually when I start, is in the morning. Thank you, Dana. Okay, you guys are too nice. Nolly. All right, I'm going to go. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Okay, bye.